So I'm really struggling, and I feel like I should kind of tell a story. And it's probably gonna be a rough draft. It's probably gonna be something that I decide to redo a couple times. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the story is about spiritualism. It's about death. It's about clarity and just yeah. It's about yeah. So um, my name is Mark Wood, and I have a story, and I think it's I'm meant to tell it. I don't know why I'm meant to tell it, but I'm meant to tell it. It's almost been a year that my brother passed away. His name was Eric. Um, when I spoke at his funeral, I called him a legend. So I hope that this will help. And because he really was. He was an amazing, crazy athlete, and just just such a good person. But he had a lot of demons that he could never. That eventually got to him, and so, anyways, um, here it is. On January 9th of 2025, I put a room up for rent in my house, and was expecting not obviously I was expecting to get some good tenants and stuff like that. The month to month is pretty easy in where I live. So the next day I get an email from a pastor, a Catholic priest, actually. And I won't share his name just because of confidentiality. But he emailed me and he said, "Hey, I'm interested in your room for rent. I'd like to come by and take a look." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Come over Friday at 5." And so um, he came over Friday at 5. He liked the space. He gave me a couple $100, I think, and he took the room. And literally, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to my girlfriend's house. You're a priest. There's nothing that you can possibly do to my house, like, because you're a priest, right? Like, you don't steal. You don't. You're basically perfect." So I left that night, and he moved in. Um, and then Sunday, which would have been the 12th of January, I decided to have a party. I had a Christmas tree burning where we live. I'm on the beach, so we can we have these Christmas tree burnings, and so I invited a bunch of people, and just a handful showed up. And it was about 4 o'clock. It was still daylight, and I get a call from my brother's spouse. His name's Lawrence, and he gave me permission to tell this story. And he said, Eric passed, and he didn't couldn't call anybody, and so he's saying, "Hey, can you call your family and let them know?" And we didn't really know what to the extent what actually happened at that point, and so my friends are great. They helped me pack up. I didn't worry about anything. I drove back to my place, and the priest was there. And he said that, and he kind of told me what happened, or I told him what happened. And, he said that in his Roman Catholic religion that they burn candles for the deceased, the recently deceased, and basically they burn them for 3 days, and the idea is that it helps the past person have a safe passage to heaven or wherever their next stop is. And so my girlfriend, she was great. She ran off and got two big candles, and she, and so we lit one. He said, yeah, you light it, you say a prayer, you put some pictures around, and you honor your brother for the next 3 days, and for safe passage. And so, I didn't really think anything of it, and the next day my brother either passed Saturday night or Sunday morning, or sometime Sunday. I'm not sure when exactly, but it had to be Monday, and my nephew, little Tim, he texted me, and then he called me, and he said, hey, I had I had a interesting thing that happened to me today. And he said that he was driving home from work that day, and he saw a guy who was walking on the side of the road with a gas can. He'd ran out of gas. Little Tim says that, he didn't always stop, but something made him stop. And he stopped. He'd pick up the guy. The guy's like, yeah, I just, ran out of gas. And little Tim takes him to the gas station. He fills up. They struck a conversation. He's like, yeah, my brother just passed. And, the guy's like, hey, I've had family pass too, and I know how hard it is. He's like, and before he left, they were about to drop. He was about to drop him off, and he's like, hey, take my number. If you ever want to talk about this, you can talk to me, because I understand what you're going through, and I know it's a really tough time. And so little Tim takes his number, and he didn't really think anything of it, and he gets home, and he's like, man, this is kind of weird. This is strange. I'm going to call this guy. I'm going to I just got to call him. And so little Tim dials the number, and the guy didn't pick up. He got his voicemail. And his voicemail said, hello, you've reached Eric Wood. I'm not able to take the phone call right now, but if you would leave a message, and I'll get back to you. My brother's name is Eric. His last name is Wood. I believe my brother needed help to get where he was going. I believe so. Tim texts me this strange phenomenon, and I couldn't believe it. And so I was like, hey, we gotta get in action. Like everybody needs to light candles. Everybody needs to say prayer. Eric's out of gas. He's close to where he's close to where he needs to be, but he needs a little help. So my entire family lit candles. We said prayers. We lit candles. We gave Eric that chance to get to where he needed to go. And so, gosh, it had to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, sometime Tuesday morning. Something overcomes me, and I can't explain it. But this thing just kind of washed over me. I can't explain it. And I just started bawling my eyes out. And I didn't really think anything of that either. I started bawling my eyes out, but my thought was that Eric made it. And I'm crying, and my girlfriend is holding me and all that, and and so I was at her house, and so I got up, I went to my house, and I had left the candle lit for almost 3 days. And when I walked in, I went over to the candle, and it was out. And I looked at the candle, and I noticed that it shouldn't have been out. There was no windows were open. No windows were open. No doors were open. It still had a quarter of a tank of the candle left to burn. And there's just no way that should have blew out, And next day I asked my roommate, I said, "Hey, did you maybe blow out the candle?" He's like, "No, I would never done that." He's like, so I the next day I kind of send a voicemail to my family, and I'm like, "Hey, I think we did it. I think we did it. I think we got Eric to this place," because on the third day, my candle that I lit for Eric was out, and I believe that was our signal that Eric made it. And I was really struggling, and about a week goes by, and my brother's a big Ohio State fan, and he wrestled for Ohio State. He was a Buckeye, diehard Buckeye, and they were playing for the championship a week after my brother passed. And my brother, I think, was so excited that he couldn't control himself. He couldn't wait, and he had to go celebrate too much, and he had to. And he was so excited, and so I had placed this candle that I burned for 3 days, or for 3 days, and I placed it on a mantle, kind of by the TV, and I remember it being not there anymore. It was over at the counter, and this part I don't know. It's very possible that it broke, and I moved it over to the cabinet or to the counter, and I don't really know. But it was over there. I asked my roommate, "Hey, did you move it?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "I didn't move it. Yeah, And so And he's a priest, so of course I believed him. And and so I ended up looking at the broken wax, and it was a rim. It was a rim at the bottom of the candle, and it had broken off. And if you know the Buckeyes, well, they have a stadium that looks like a horseshoe. And he and the broken piece was a horseshoe. And I believe that was my brother telling me, "Go Buckeyes," that he was okay, and that he was rooting for the Buckeyes. And so a couple of days pass, and or this might have been a few days before. I can't remember, but my niece, her sister or her mom called me and said, "Hey, my daughter read some things today, and I was like, okay, that's interesting, and she's like, yeah, there's a story that she read in school today about a guy named Eric. He was a crazy good athlete, and he just talked about never giving up and never, just never giving up, and how you succeed in life is that you continue to be the best that you can be." And so to wrap this up, kind of, I believe the priest came into my life 2 or 3 days before my brother passed. I believe my brother somehow made that happen because he knew that I needed help for what was about to happen. I believe we got my brother to heaven when he when my nephew met a man named Eric Wood, who's the exact same name as my brother's. And who was out of gas. I believe Eric was asking for help. He said, "Hey, I need a little bit of gas. I need a little help." I believe on the third day that my brother made it to heaven. I believe that my brother sent me a sign, "Go Buckeyes," with the broken off horseshoe from the candle. I believe that story that my niece read about was Eric telling her to go be awesome, to go kick ass, to go be the best person she could be. And I believe that spiritualism, a religion, is real. And I have other stories like this, actually. But never one so strong. And what I learned is that a lot of these things are called God winks. And these are God winks that, sometimes the past person Ozzy will show, and sometimes they don't. But I believe that Eric was pretty forthtelling. The other thing I guess I should say is about a week or two later, my son and I were driving up to a ski resort to go skiing, and my brother was pretty superstitious. He believed in signs, and so we had just pulled off to get gas, and we were in a town called Fresno, California, and when I got back onto the highway, I just randomly looked up, and a sign said Fowler Road, Fowler, Fowler Road, and started crying again. That name is symbolic to my brother. It's iconic. It's something that when my brother would see, and he saw that word a lot, it meant good things were about to happen. And it was actually one of his old doctors. So he torn both his ACLs and had some different, reconstructive surgeries on his legs. And his doctor was Dr. Fowler. And so he had always remembered and saw that name as being really positive. So anytime he saw that, And so again, I think that was just another sign that my brother was telling me to be good, to go after your dreams. I am sharing this story for a lot of things. I'm sharing this story because I feel like it's needed. I feel like there's a lot of people in life that are maybe struggling and aren't sure what to do, and and I also am sharing it in honor of my brother. But I'm sharing it for me as well, and for my family, so that we can continue to grow and be better, be stronger. And we just feel like it's an amazing story. And if you're not a believer in God, or whatever your God is, then maybe after today you will be. And I know that it's changed my life, and I'm stronger and a better person for my brother, because my brother couldn't be the best person he wanted to be for himself. And so I'm carrying the torch, and I don't hit the mark all the time, but I'm doing my best, and I'm trying to remember this moment, or these moments in my brother's passing, that were kind of reminding me of how strong I need to be, how amazing I need to be, how good I need to be, how how I can change myself as for the better. I can change others who are around me for the better, and I can change people who I don't even know for the better. There's probably more things that happened, and I just don't remember, but I feel like I needed to share this story so that other people can be helped. Again, my name is Mark Wood. My brother was Eric Wood. He died at, I believe, 49 or 50. And his spouse was Lawrence Sullivan. And he's given me permission to share this story. And so I'm honored, and it's almost been a year. And I just feel like it was the right time, because I'm really struggling right now. Thanks for listening.